alarm right now. It's watching me. I think it wants something from me. It's coming closer. It's coming for me. Oh, God!
Please hold.
Developed and published by Night Signal Entertainment, Home Safety Hotline is an interactive fiction, point-and-click, text-based 1990s-like job simulation that puts you in the position of a hotline responder of a home safety company that deals with anything from houseflies to what was I talking about? Anyway, your job is to answer phone calls and puzzle out what the homeowner's problem is, and then send the correct informational packet. And you have 7 days to prove yourself. Try your best to be correct. Home safety isn't the only thing on the line. With all that said, let's dive into Home Safety Hotline. Before starting your calls, you'll be greeted with the 90s chic grassy background on the monitor with the Home Safety Hotline logo clear to see. There are a couple things besides the call program to check out, and one is our mailbox. This is where we'll receive notifications and those juicy coupons. Yes, those coupons will be our reward for a job well done. Since this is our first day, we have the standard welcome letter informing us about our role and that our supervisor is Carol Regina. Regina, huh? A bit on the nose, but I can appreciate that. There's also a notice about videos from their archive appearing on the desktop. They say to disregard them, but we're nosy and we're not going to do that. Every year, thousands of families suffer injuries or even death from common household hazards. Hazards such as house fires, flooding, black mold, metamorphosis. Don't become a statistic. Call the Home Safety Hotline and keep your family safe. You now have access to the HSH Responder software. Here, you'll see all the entries you have access to. So you basically diagnose the caller's problem by process of elimination with whatever information you have available. For instance,
John here. My wife insisted I call this number. It sounds like she thinks we might have some kind of infestation. My wife keeps telling me about specks of dirt or something in the kitchen. Just looks like coffee to me. I don't know. You tell me, I guess.
Please hold.
he says he's seeing something that looks like coffee grounds. Well, this one's kinda easy. The roaches entry mentions that homeowners commonly report seeing droppings similar to coffee grounds. Dude's got roaches, which means not only does that introduce the possibility of disease, but also they're gross. Probably best to use the HSH removal services for that one.
Hank here. Last week I called your guys about some crap in my yard. I was told wasn't anything to worry about. Well, guess what? There's more piles of crap in my yard.
Moles.
I'm talking huge piles of brown out there.
It's moles.
You better not tell me it's nothing again, because I know.
Please hold.
You got moles.
Twig Sigmund here. Just calling to inform you that your refrigerator's been running wild over here for the past 45 to 90 minutes. Been running wild. Better head on over and catch it, big fella.
Rude. So that's pretty much the gist of your job, but not everything is gonna be so straightforward. Tim begins with talking about how bad his lawn is,
My good-for-nothing kid refuses to mow and it's getting real crazy out there.
then mentions his kid isn't feeling well.
My kid is complaining about being too sick to do anything about it. Meh, 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 meh.
Please hold.
With those two things in mind, I think ticks is the cause of the problem. Ticks are very small arachnids known to feed on human or animal blood and are most commonly found in tall grass. They latch onto their host, often unseen, and burrow their head into the flesh of their victim. Hosts will often report symptoms of illness such as fevers, headaches, and chills. Lyme disease is no joke. Watch out for those ticks. was all pretty much mundane today, but if you manage to snag a moment to look at the entries list, you can see that there are many entries that are inaccessible, and not all of them are bugs and fungus. Second day on the job, let's check the email. You don't know me, but I used to have your job. You are in danger. Quit while you still can. You don't know enough. It's not too late to quit freely. Trust me. I don't know any Mike, and I don't know what he's talking about, so I'm gonna do what we all do when something like this happens. Ignore it. Starting off, Supervisor Carroll lets us know that we have access to additional household hazard information.
Please be aware that this information is confidential and not to be shared with anyone outside of HSH.
Before we get the chance to take a look at all these new entries, caller Mike will interrupt, complaining about pollen getting in his house.
Calling to see if you might know about anything I can do to...
He actually has something far more worrisome, a little something called black mold.
Please hold.
Homeowners with black mold infestations frequently report a musty smell, allergic reactions, or breathing problems. HSH's fungal cleanup services are your best bet here. Seriously, you do not want to be messing around with black mold. The next caller, Hunnigan, is where things start getting out of the ordinary.
Do you know if there's such a thing as house thieves that clean?
She says the cops referred her to this number, and her issue is that she keeps hearing noises coming from her living room at night.
When I go look at it, I find the place spotless, but haven't yet found anything missing. I've talked with the cops, but they keep telling me to call this number. So here I am. Is there something you can do?
Please hold.
That's pretty weird. I don't think we can blame that on ants or mold. One of the newly unlocked entries is called Common Hob. Let's check that one out. Common hobs are the most common species of hob found in the household. They are small humanoid creatures with gray, burlap-like skin and small vertical tufts of hair on their head. They have no false face. They are known for their tendency to consume dust and common sticky substances found on the floors and dishes, cleaning them in the process. They generally only come out at night. Hobs cannot be compelled to leave on their own once nested in a home. Instead, one should take measures to prevent provoking metamorphosis by leaving out a bowl of cream or milk at night. Well, aside from it being in the realm of the supernatural, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, at least it isn't actively destroying your house or your health. Now, with that one phone call, not only have we been exposed to knowledge about the supernatural, but also that police are referring people to HSH services. Just what kind of company is this? Ooh, check this one out.
Yo, Buzzgoober here. Been having a heck of a time over here. I got these snappers itching and whooping and crying all over them.
Cellar growths are a large species of fungi that are known to grow in the dark.
I don't know what's going on inside my house. I hear something crawling in the walls. I think I found teeth marks on my bedposts. I can't sleep at night knowing there's something in my house. Help me, please!
Please hold.
Obviously, it's ants, right? It has to be. Ants rustle on the walls, she hears stuff in the walls.
Those instructions you said didn't work at all! I'm going stir crazy here! I still haven't been able to sleep! I hope you all rot!
It wasn't ants.
Do you guys handle security?
Dan is freaking out over someone or something organizing his desk. This one's pretty easy, as there's an entry with the name Desk Hob. If it's anything like the common hob, it probably likes to tidy things up. Let's check it out. Desk hobs are a subspecies of hob that are known to inhabit desks, vanities, and other similar structures. They regularly like to tidy their homes and will frequently sort and order materials in the desk to their liking. They are physically similar to other hobs, but are generally much smaller and have raspy, loose hair. They do not bear a false face. Desk hobs are not dangerous to humans if left unprovoked. Like any other hob, they are also capable of metamorphosing. Desk hobs cannot be removed once they nest. To prevent further damage, measures to prevent metamorphosis should be taken as soon as possible. It is advised to leave breadcrumbs on the desk each night before going to bed.
There's that term again, metamorphosis. And what's the deal with the false faces?
Well, we'll have to leave that for tomorrow's shift because today's is over and I got 80%. That's not good enough to get my coupon. Welp, no coupon today, but there are still a few emails to check. Looks like we got another one from Mike. There's a picture of a mouse hole in the wall of an office attached to what seems like a warning and an invitation. They gave you access to more info, didn't they? I warned you. If you end up like me, join me in this hole. They haven't found me yet. It's safe here. This Mike guy sure is taking the joke a bit far. I mean, is he really that bored? The other email just mentions that we may experience some network errors from time to time that will leave us unable to see the information given. So we should probably get a good look at as many entries as we can, while we can. Back to the desktop, we can also see a notification that there's something new in the broadcast thumbnail. Weird that it has something to do with real estate, but then again, home is in the name of the company. Seems like it's a promotional video listing different homes for sale, and then it gets interrupted by an alert for a missing child?
Missing persons alert. Authorities are currently looking for missing child. Robbie Parker, suspect, is described to be approximately 6 feet tall, barefoot, wearing a large bush or shrub on their person.
You know, that sounds like that pesky false rose bush. Looks like he struck again. This commercial being here in the HSH vault that was never actually supposed to be leaked to us is interesting. I have a bit of an inkling as to why it's stored away. An inkling that HSH doesn't just dabble with forces beyond the mundane.
Hello, Supervisor Carroll here again. We've updated your permissions. You should now have access to more extensive information to work with for your future calls.
Lots of new entries today, and most of them seem to be supernatural. Caller Peter is having some issues with his bathroom faucet.
I've been hearing some really weird noises coming from the bathroom faucet recently. I'm not sure what it could mean. It just makes this nasty sound anytime I run it, along with this, nasty smell.
Please hold.
Okay, nasty sound and nasty smell. So there are a couple entries that deal with plumbing. There's the mundane frozen pipes and the more obscure pipe growth. Pipe growths are a type of fungus that are known for making homes inside damp, tube-like structures such as pipes. Pipe growths often grow slightly larger than the pipes they inhabit and will therefore clog the pipe indefinitely until their removal. Pipe growths are known to make loud, bubbling digestion noises after they eat a full meal. It sounds like it could be the culprit, however, frozen pipes is more than likely the actual cause. Frozen pipes are a common household hazard during cold seasons, characterized by the water inside pipes freezing and expanding, causing stoppages, cracks, and leaks. Homeowners with frozen pipes may report strange faucet smells, banging and whistling sounds coming from their pipes, or leakage.
Sometimes it's just something mundane and annoying, but ultimately solvable.
My wife. I can't. Her face. It's gone. It's gone. My wife. I can't see her face. I can't see her face. She's dead and I can't see her face. They're all gone. It's all gone.
Oh man, that just sounds sad.
Please hold.
It also sounds like the work of a memory wisp. Memory wisps are invisible and odorless household wisps that are known for removing memories from the home and its homeowners. Homeowners infested with memory wisps will often report missing pictures, photo albums, and the inability to remember the faces of loved ones. Memory wisps are not a danger to the physical health of humans. However, their ability to affect human memory can sometimes lead to household accidents or reckless activity. Memory wisps will move out of the house on their own once they've stolen away the inhabitants' memories. There's no need for further action.
Sometimes Fae can be benign or even helpful. and other times they can be your worst nightmare. We already have terrible diseases such as Alzheimer's and dementia. We really don't need another.
This
Hey,
guy.
yeah, name's Fred Pinball. I'm calling to lodge a complaint against your place of business up there. I have never seen such a big old
Harvey!
Hi? I,
Uh-huh,
have no idea what's happening.
uh-huh.
My sheets are growing nasty sharp things on them, and my legs itch like crazy.
I see.
Do I need...
Please hold.
Well, damn, looks like we finally got hit with one of those glitches. Good news is that this one is pretty easy. Harvey said that his sheets are growing nasty sharp things on them and his legs itch like crazy. Bed teeth is the answer here, no doubt.
And that's bed teeth, not bad teeth. Sorry, Kenchi fans.
Bed teeth are a rare kind of household fungus known for growing in small cone-like shapes on the underside of bed sheets, blankets, or comforters. Homeowners infested with bed teeth often report mild discomfort when sleeping, such as tickling or itching, and more rarely, slimy acidic residue on their skin. Bed teeth are not directly harmful to most humans given their brief sleeping schedules. However, they tend to gradually grow sharper over time if left untreated, which can lead to infections in the open wounds they cause. To prevent the growth of bed teeth, bed sheets and blankets should be washed regularly and inspected for rare, more persistent growths. Infested covers should be scrubbed thoroughly or disposed of entirely. My question is, if you see these little cone things on your sheets, wouldn't you just change the sheets to begin with?
Hello? I was told to call this number to ask about my problem.
What kind of
The
problem?
wall in my bedroom doesn't look right near the bottom. The bottom of the wall has some cracks, or maybe it's peeling. I'm not sure. I have a cat named Whiskers, and sometimes he likes to sharpen his claws at the couch, but he would never do that to the wall. He knows just how naughty that would be.
Please hold.
Okay, this one's a little tricky. There are either cracks or peeling on the wall, and she has a cat named Whiskers who sometimes likes to scratch the furniture. Could be mice, or maybe a fracture hob? Nah, it's probably termites. Termites are small insects known for consuming decaying material, particularly wood. Homeowners with a termite infestation often report peeling paint, small holes in the drywall, or squeaky floorboards. Sounds like another job for HSH Professional Services.
We sure do have a lot of those.
Oh look, it's Gary.
Do you think this is some kind of joke?
Yes.
Last week, I called you guys about some weird noises I had coming from my living room, and the info package you sent me said something about leaving out a bowl of cream? What kind of joke is that? It's been a week now that I've been dealing with this racket, no thanks to you, and now we're starting to have power outages. Your employee's stupid joke is now probably going to cost me who knows how much in repair costs. So talk to your manager and tell them they owe me big time. You figure out what's going on in my house, and you figure it out now!
Please hold.
Looks like the previous call center employee told him that he had a common hob. Likely it was making a ruckus in the living room, constantly cleaning, and this guy didn't bother to leave anything out to ensure real problems didn't arise. Like this one. Man's got himself a boggart. Boggarts is the general term for a metamorphosed hob. They are large, hairy humanoids between 6 to 7 feet tall and bear fairly convincing false faces. They are known for causing household accidents such as flooding, fires, or electrical outages. They also frequently observe their targets while they sleep. Boggarts are extremely dangerous to humans and pets due to their malicious nightly household activities, which can often cause injury or death. They also react very violently when seen by humans, but thankfully these instances are rare as they excel at staying hidden. Do not, under any circumstances, refer to an active boggart by name. Once you become aware of its presence, simply vacate the premises. Provided you do not speak to the boggart at any time, in any fashion, it will remain in its original location. So Gary didn't want to listen to professional advice the first time. Do you think he'll listen this time?
It's coming closer! It's coming for me! Oh, God!
So we got a little more information on this metamorphosis and the false faces deal. It seems that hobs, common or otherwise, have the ability to metamorph into a boggart when not sufficiently appeased with their treat of choice, turning from something relatively harmless and non-threatening into this. And a false face? Well, that one's kind of self-explanatory. It's a mask of a human visage attempting to hide their true form. Not all hobs have false faces, but only hobs seem to possess this trait. And no matter if they have it or not, all hobs can become boggarts. We have a new office pet named Whiskers. Huh, didn't one of the callers have a cat named Whiskers? Well, it is a common name. Ooh, and we got a new thing to watch. Let's sit back and watch The Mystery of Mice.
This is a mus musculus, otherwise known as the common house mouse. And this is Mus musculus loquentis, otherwise known as the smart mouse, a newly discovered species known for its uniquely colored iris, and more importantly, its increased intelligence. With the help of modern computer technology, today's scientists have been able to interpret the previously indecipherable squeaks of a smart mouse, and have discovered what seems to be hidden messages within. Let's take a listen.
Talking
What do you
mice?
think?
I don't think we even have an
Is this a
entry for
wonder
that.
of
It's
evolution?
bound to come up again
Or are
later
we
though,
just
so
hearing
keep that
things
in
that aren't
mind. Supervisor Carol gives us a call first thing to let us know that she's impressed by our excellent work.
Keep up the great work, employee. Our eyes rest upon me.
Best get to it.
I think there might be something wrong with her faucet. Recently I've been having the worst kind of stomach bug, just aches and pains constantly. But after a month, it still hasn't gone away, and I'm thinking there's gotta be something wrong with the water, 'cause we only eat fresh, homegrown fruits and vegetables here, and we ain't ever had any problems until now.
Please hold.
It seems like he's complaining about water, but his real issue is related to his stomach. Then he mentions that he and his family only eat fresh, homegrown fruits and vegetables. And that's where his issue lies, because he's become afflicted with a false beet. False beets are creatures with a beet-like appearance that are known to trick gardeners into harvesting and eating them by disguising themselves among their vegetables. False beets are harmless unless eaten by a human, at which point they will take root in the human's stomach, feeding off its nutrients for its lifetime. This can cause digestive issues and potential back problems over the course of the human's life. False beets only find themselves in gardens that grow beets. If you do not wish to contend with false beets, it is advised to avoid growing beets. A swallowed false beet cannot be removed without killing its host. You know, sometimes it's out of our hands. Looks like this poor guy is stuck with a false beet growing in his stomach and feeding off his nutrients for the rest of his life. That's rough, dude. Hello, Felicia.
The police told me to call this number, so I hope I got the right number here. Anyway, I think somebody is stalking me. I can see their shadow at night at my window, just staring into the house. When I close the window, I can still hear him out there, breathing.
Please hold.
Felicia has a problem with seeing something staring at her from outside her window, and worse, she can hear it breathing. Let's see if we can figure out the problem and let Felicia get a good night's rest. It could be a night gnome, or a night wisp. Felicia never mentioned any lights or whispering, so I think we can veto this one. What she did mention was hearing breathing. Sounds like the pesky night gnome to me. Night gnomes are small, hairy creatures with a pointed head. They are known for their tendency to enter the sleeping quarters of humans to watch them while they sleep. Homeowners affected by night gnomes frequently report sighting them in the middle of the night, or report hearing breathing sounds during the late hours. Night gnomes are not known to be deadly to humans, but those who suffer from heart conditions should consider wearing sleeping masks to prevent being startled by their presence. Night gnomes will move on to their homes if they become bored or restless by your inhabitants' sleeping activities. There is no guarantee, however, that they will become bored by you if they find your sleep sufficiently entertaining. Well, I hope she's not a sleep talker, otherwise she's got a miniature Edward Cullen to deal with for a while.
Get a sleep mask, Felicia.
And it seems caller Belinda has an issue with attic gnomes, which have been causing dust to flood the ventilation and make her and her children have some respiratory issues. However, they can be removed by simply cleaning the attic thoroughly, depriving them of a food source. I think I'd rather deal with a hard day of cleaning than an indefinite amount of time being watched in my sleep. But neither of those are worse than the problem caller Mary's dealing with.
Used to do anything, they told me to call you!
Again, the police have brought another caller this way, which means it's definitely something fey in nature.
A sweetheart. The last time I saw him was when I was tucking him into bed last night and checking his messy closet for bees to calm him down. Oh, it's silly, I know, but my poor Jeremy is always so concerned about bees and wasps and stuff.
Please hold.
First, we need to consider the entries that mention that they can be dangerous to children. Unsurprisingly, there are a few. But also keep in mind that she mentioned her child being afraid of bees in the closet. That's pretty unusual, but once you read this entry, it starts to make a little more sense. False artifacts are seemingly human-designed objects that can manifest suddenly inside a home. They are known for making gentle buzzing sounds that can usually only be heard by very young human children or small animals. Homeowners with false artifacts often report out-of-the-place objects or missing children or pets. False artifacts, while not a direct threat to adult humans, can pose a significant risk to small human children and animals. Should a child or pet be left alone with a false artifact, they are at risk of being encased within. Once encased, no noise made by the prey can be heard. While digestion can take upwards of several years to complete, starvation can be a more pressing concern. Once a false artifact has been identified, removal is as simple as moving the object out of one's home. HSH Pest Removal Services should be called to come and remove the object. Should a pet or loved one already be encased within, one can utilize a memory wisp to speed up the grieving process. Now that's dark. Her kid has been gobbled up by some kind of fake appliance or object and nothing can be done to retrieve him? I wonder if that's true. If anything, I would assume asphyxiation would be the thing that does them in, but apparently there's usually enough air in there to let them survive long enough to starve. This is one of those times that I'm not completely sure that HSH has taken the human side into consideration. Certainly makes minimalism look appealing.
Dub Rubber here. I need to place an order of 60 gallons of orange drink here.
What's this guy's issue?
Hey, so my doctor told me I should call this number.
Now we got doctors recommending this hotline? Can't be good for this guy.
So here goes nothing, I guess. So I've recently been having just the worst headaches, and just barely I woke up and felt my eyes were starting to look kind of pink.
Please hold.
Okay, really bad headaches and pink eyes. What do we have that can do that to a person? It seems like the info's on the fritz again, but I do recall seeing something that might be a fit. Fey flu are a rare and dangerous disease commonly spread by household fey. Symptoms of Fey flu include headaches, fever, eye discoloration, seeds taking root in skin pores, and blooming. Fey flu is rarely fatal, but it can have long-lasting effects on the lifetime health of an infected human. Long-term symptoms commonly include dizziness, fatigue, monocolored vision, deliriousness, and endless dreams. There is no cure for Fey flu. However, one can take precautions against it by keeping a clean, Fey-free home. This doesn't sound like an ideal situation for Phil. Now he's saddled with a lifelong disease that, while relatively mild compared to mundane diseases, sounds terrible to deal with. Aside from the symptoms you have to live with, you also have flowers and junk growing out of your skin.
How are you supposed to function in normal society when you look like Florence Pugh at a bonfire?
You gotta tell me what's going on inside my home, okay? I'm freaking out over here!
Please hold.
Kyle has holes in his floor, and his dog's missing. Maybe floor roots? But that doesn't explain the holes. The more likely cause is unicorn fungi.
Unicorn fungi are a rare horn-shaped fungus that are known to grow on the heads of furry mammals and household pets. They often affect the animal's disposition, causing them to be drawn to the soil. Homeowners often report their pets furiously digging around or inside their home. Unicorn fungi are not directly harmful to humans, but they can often lead to other household problems such as broken floorboards, uprooted plants, or waking up other things beneath the soil. Unicorn fungi will go away after a few months on its own without treatment, but can also be treated with cryotherapy or removed surgically if removal needs expediting. To prevent unicorn fungi from developing, regularly bathe your pet, especially after any outdoor activities.
I'm sure he'll eventually find his dog and fix his floor. Keep that in mind, folks. Wash your pets, but not too much because that's bad for most pets' skin and hair. So just be careful.
Alright.
The next caller, Jackie, seems to have an issue with her living room getting trashed. It's covered in soil and plants and happened just when she got back from vacation.
Please hold.
Well, there's only one entry that has to do with traveling, and that is the travel gnome.
Travel gnomes are a highly invasive subspecies of gnome that are known to stow away inside the luggage of unsuspecting travelers to introduce themselves to new households. They are found most commonly in highly forested areas of the globe. Travel gnomes can affect the household in various ways. They will often create expansive gardens inside their new homes, leaving soil, plants, and common outdoor pests in their wake. These gardens, in addition to introducing a variety of dangerous pests, can also create foundational problems in a home if they continue to grow unabated. Spraying pesticides and weed killer in the home can deter a travel gnome's gardening prospects, at which point it'll wait for a new opportunity to travel to a better location. To encourage a travel gnome to relocate, one can invite others to stay at their household and create new opportunities for the travel gnome to stow away in visitors' luggage.
So basically, if you don't want your indoors turning into outdoors, it's best to just not go on vacation. Anywhere. And if your friend you haven't talked to in a year suddenly invites you to stay over, don't do it. Caller Larry has a problem with his basement.
Something in my basement. I don't know what it is. All I know is when I open my basement door, it smells like a damn sewer and I can hear it making all kinds of horrible noises. It sounds like there might be a lot of water down there too.
Please hold.
Well, there are a couple of basement-dwelling pests, but it sounds like Larry has a cellar grotto.
Cellar grottos are large cave-like networks known to sometimes appear spontaneously in cellars and basements. Homeowners with cellar grottos will often report a bad smell coming from the basement, high humidity in the home, and a notable increase in large beetles, frogs, and related pests. Cellar grottos can introduce a number of dangerous pests into the home, and the heightened humidity they introduce can cause warped floorboards, weakened foundation, and other hazards. Cellar grottos can be removed by finding their creator and presenting them with a gift of gold. Their creator often resides somewhere within the grotto's subterranean lake. For safety, bring spelunking and snorkeling equipment on your excursion, or consider utilizing HSH's grotto removal team.
You know, for some people, this wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I can imagine the crazy cave divers would enjoy this little adventure.
For those of us who don't want Fafnir under our house, it's probably best to just use HSH's grotto removal services.
We've got yet another email from Mike. And this one warns us that the hole is breached, and we get a shot of a familiar orange cat laser focused on this hole in the wall. I don't know this Mike guy, but I'm starting to get a little worried for him. Anyway, we're also notified about scheduling changes. Looks like we're working the weekend.
Different job, same story, am I right?
Hello. Supervisor Carroll here. Thine accuracy continues to impress those of us above and below the soil. I have updated your permissions once more. Keep up the great work, employee. Our eyes rest soundly upon thee.
Supervisor Carroll is coming at us with the thines and the these, and I'm starting to think she might be connected to some kind of secret society that acts as an intermediary between Fae and human contact. No, that's silly.
There were Satan worshippers in my shed. I think it might be my no-good teenager having joined up with one of those Dungeon Dragon cults they say these days, because he's been gone for days now, and the next thing you know, I find a dang tree growing in my shed. The tree is all covered in torn-up fabric and some kind of black liquid. Classic satanistic ritual crap, I assume.
Well, devil worship isn't in the entry, so calm your tits, Patrice, and I'll try to figure out why you have Spirit Halloween in your shed.
Please hold.
Ah, see? There you go. Sprig tree.
Sprig trees are a rapidly growing tree-like organism that takes root in the human body. They are known to cause structural damage to a home as they continue to grow, generally reaching their full size in a matter of days. They are known to be caused by the touch of a spriggin. Sprig trees are incredibly deadly to those infected, and will result in death once they have reached a certain size. Anyone near a sprig tree while it's growing in an indoor location is also at risk of injury or death from the structural damage that will occur as it grows. There is no cure for a sprig tree. The infected individual should be quarantined while any others occupying the household should vacate the premises immediately. Do not touch the infected person or the black substance that leaks from them under any circumstance. Begin looking for a new home and arrange any funeral service as needed for the affected individual.
Well, another unfortunate circumstance. Seems like her son pissed off a Spriggan somehow, and now his mom is gonna have to find a new place to live.
Yes, hi. I recently purchased from your company one of your home security installation services, and not a week later, I'm still getting break-ins. As I mentioned prior, someone has been breaking into the greenhouse and taunting us with their singing.
Okay, so Pamela thinks she's getting break-ins and the security system isn't working. Curiously, she says that whomever is breaking into the greenhouse has been taunting them with their singing. Well, that should help narrow it down.
Please hold.
It sounds like it could be a false flower.
False flowers are long, slender creatures that vaguely resemble common household plants. They are known to take root in indoor potted plants, disguising themselves among the flowers. Homeowners often report hearing faint singing. False flowers are harmless if left to their own devices. However, if homeowners attempt to disrupt or remove them, they will often lash out by spraying a toxic chemical known to cause blindness or loss of sight. False flowers are not to be disturbed once they have taken root. Water regularly and try not to notice their presence. Ignore their singing.
Do you think you could just ignore a yodeling plant? Like, the novelty of that would have to wear off real fast. Has anyone tried fire?
Hey, Flipper here. I've got 2 dumbbells that I bought from you that you...
Every day with this guy.
What I mean? Spit, crud, and juice, and
Hey, who are you? How did you get in? Hey, now easy there. Get away. Get away.
Oh. Was that squeaking?
Hello, Supervisor Carroll here. I noticed that you've been experiencing regular, disruptive calls from a false caller with ulterior motives. I've seen to it that this false caller shall no longer be a blight upon me. Keep up the good work, employee.
You know, I'm not gonna look a gift mouse in the mouth, but Supervisor Carroll's giving me the creeps.
There's some kind of insect in my house.
Andy thinks a big insect flew into his house and electrocuted itself because he can smell burning scent. Smelling a burning smell isn't good, and it could mean that there's a fire. But he mentioned a big insect, so let's see what we can find, keeping both of those keywords in mind. Damn it, it's glitched again. Guess it's the guessing game. Well, I'm guessing that it's a lamp sprite. And if I'm wrong and it's an actual fire, well then he should have called the fire department.
It took my daughter. It took my daughter. She's gone. It wrapped its awful tendrils around her and took her down with it. I saw it with my own eyes. Please, send help. The police won't do anything. Send help.
Please hold.
This is not good. Every time there's a mention of someone's kid, it's something terrible. Ugh. Let's see what the damage is. The main thing he says is it wrapped its awful tendrils around her and took her down with it. What do we have here that sounds like that? Well, as bad as the whole sprig tree thing was, I don't think it's sprig vines. Not that false rose bush either. I think we have a case of floor roots.
Floor roots are tree-like roots that are known to grow upwards from the floor to wrap themselves around various objects or humans in their vicinity. Floor roots grow slow enough that they serve very little danger to awake and aware human adults. However, if not spotted quickly, they are a known strangling hazard for human children and pets while they sleep. Removal should be a priority in family households. Floor roots require something to wrap around before they will cease their growth, so it is advised to acquire dolls or a similar human-shaped facsimile to give them a safer alternative. Place the dolls in the affected room and leave the roots alone for the night. By morning, the dolls and roots should be gone and the room safe to inhabit once more. Make any repairs to the floor as needed, or utilize HSH's home repair services.
With all this information, I'm not seeing anything mentioned about what to do if someone has already been taken by these things. It seems that once they're gotten, that's it. It's weird how this vine seems to specifically seek out small humans. No pets, no objects, just children or children-shaped toys. For what purpose this happens, we'll never truly know, but Fae stealing children is a tale as old as time.
It stole me! It stole me!
Okay, I got it. You've been stolen. Let me think for a second.
It took me! I can't see myself anymore!
Please hold.
Helen is freaking out, but it might be for a good reason. The only thing she mentioned was her face being stolen, so it's not a memory wisp, which in the long run is a good thing. However, for the time being, she's gonna have to deal with the mirror nymph.
Mirror nymphs are a subspecies of nymph that are known for stealing the likeness of homeowners and passersby. They are generally small, faceless, and voiceless humanoids carrying a large mirror that they beckon others to look into. Homeowners afflicted by mirror nymphs commonly report not being able to recognize their own face. Mirror nymphs, although a nuisance, are not a direct danger to humans. Mirror nymphs will wander to different locations provided nobody looks into their mirror. Affected homeowners can restore their likeness by catching the mirror nymph and breaking its mirror with an iron implement.
It's curious, plenty of entries tend to have you treat these pests with kid gloves almost. Give them treats, don't look at them, sell your house, etc., etc. But the mirror nymph gets no such courtesy. Either this is HSH's way of being neutral, or they too despise the mirror nymph.
I think some homeless or druggies might be in my house because I keep finding used needles, cans, metal scrap, and other such nasty things on my living room carpet.
This is pretty dangerous considering she has children in the house.
Please hold.
I was thinking it might be a trash gnome, but upon further inspection, the Horde seems to be a closer fit.
The Horde is an invisible, odorless collective conscious that is known to collect and store large quantities of common household refuse. The Horde's tendency to store vast quantities of trash in the home make them prone to spreading disease to the home's inhabitants. Rotten food, used syringes, and rusty metal are among the more common household hazards that can be introduced by the Horde's presence. Once introduced to a home, the Horde will continue to gather and hoard their treasures indefinitely. It is advised to sell one's home at the first sign of the Horde's presence to make the relocation process go over more smoothly. To prevent the Horde from gathering in one's home, it is advised to keep one's home as tidy as possible as to not attract the Horde's attention. The introduction of a hob to the household can often assist in this process.
You know, this isn't the first or even the second entry that mentions that you're just gonna have to sell your home. I'm starting to wonder if this isn't some kind of scheme HSH is pulling here. You know, maybe or maybe not purposefully introduce a problem, then buy the homes off the stressed seller for cheap, then sell again for a slight profit without informing the next tenant of the mess they're about to have to deal with. Rinse, wash, and repeat. Anyway, it's just a thought.
Yeah, is there some kind of home security camera I can purchase from you guys? For the last few nights, we haven't gotten any sleep thanks to some punks outside with flashlights or something. Someone keeps flashing these bright lights through our windows at night, but I haven't been able to see who's doing it. I want to catch them on camera so I can finally bust these stupid teens for all they're worth.
Please hold.
Okay, Maple. Fortunately, you don't have any teenage punks outside your window. What you do have is a night wisp.
Night wisps are a subspecies of wisps in the form of bright floating lights. They are known to hover outside windows at night when whispering promises of wealth and good fortune. Night wisps are not dangerous to humans unless listened to. Refrain from listening to their whispers and following their directions. Night wisps will move on to other homes after a week or so if they are ignored consistently. It is advised to drown out their whispers with music or wear sleeping masks to prevent disruption.
As terrifying as it is to hear whispering at night by your window, it seems like this is one of the easier pests to deal with. Another case of ignore it and it'll go away.
Hey, so I think I found some kind of door. I feel like maybe I should step through it.
No, Patty. No.
Yeah, I think
Do not go through that door.
I need to go inside. The wind feels so nice.
Please hold.
Patty is dealing quite clearly with a classic case of portals.
Portals are door-shaped openings to an outdoor location other than the homeowners. Discovered most commonly in basements or underground cellars. Homeowners with portals frequently report cold drafts, strange dreams, and strong desire to enter. Portals can introduce a wide variety of dangerous elements to a home and should be dealt with as soon as they are discovered. They can additionally cause drafts and introduce heating problems to a home. Portals should be sealed shut with wooden planks, bricks, or other common building materials. The seal should be airtight as to not allow for anything to come inside the home. It is advised to utilize HSH's home security services to ensure portals are sealed safely.
Ideally, this portal could lead to somewhere nice, but with the way things seem to go, it's probably best to heed the advice and seal that sucker up before Cthulhu or some airborne plague enters your home.
This might, sound strange, but I think there's some kind of, squid or something in my bathroom. I went into the bathroom in the middle of the night last night, and I could see something slithering under near the sink with its, little tentacles or, tendrils or, whatever. But when I turned on the lights, nothing was there.
Please hold.
Something with tendrils in the bathroom. Might have been on the soap dish. Pretty sure that's a soap sprite.
Soap sprites are a subspecies of sprite that are known for consuming bacteria and harmful microbes. They frequently occupy bathrooms appearing similar to pink bars of soap in order to feed off the hands that use them. They secrete a subs-like substance that is used to digest their meals. Soap sprites, despite their bacteria-eating lifestyle, are frequently known to spread deadly diseases such as the Fey flu to humans who handle them, making them a serious household hazard. Soap sprites are easy to remove and dispose of by the way of tongs or other grabbing utensils. Identifying soap sprites can be difficult, so it's recommended to not keep any bars of soap in the household to ensure they can be identified and removed as soon as possible.
I wonder if this is how that one dude got his case of the Fey flu. Damn, I don't think Mike made it. Either he was just playing a joke and got found out and fired, or he really was one of those smart mice and the cat got him. From everything we've seen so far, I'm banking on the latter. After all, I'm pretty sure that prank caller got mouseified as well. Which means we're dealing with a company that can turn people into mice at will. Well, no use dwelling on spilt milk or whatever they say. We have another movie to watch. But what's up with the desktop background? Is that a person? It wasn't always like that, right? Anyway, back to the video. It looks like it's an informative video about hiking Thunder Peak. There's a helpful list of things you'll need, like a good pair of hiking boots, a sturdy water bottle, an iron sword, and a pair of gloves, and a description of the zones you'll enter, like the Rockfall Zone, and the Quiet Zone. As you approach the cave entrance, remove your hiking boots. Enter the cave. Follow the lights. Do not stray. even hike the small trek to the peak. Fun fact, iron is often used to repel the supernatural.
Park employee, lend thine ear once more. Supervisor Carroll here again. I've updated thy permissions to grant thee access to all relevant household hazard information. Continue thy labors, employee. Soon thy time in the soil arriveth. Prepare thy body.
Prepare thy body? The hell does that even mean? Well, we have all the entries open to us now. What that means for our professional career could be anything. But for today, that means we have all the knowledge at our fingertips and are the best prepared we can be to
Some kind of animal has gotten into my cellar. I know it's down there because I can hear it flapping around sometimes when the house is quiet. Tell me what to do to get rid of this thing because I think it's getting into all my Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays.
Please hold.
I can tell what this one is without even looking. It's definitely a wine sprite.
Wine sprites are a subspecies of sprite that are known for consuming wine. They are small, large-eyed, winged creatures with translucent skin that often appear red while they're feeding. They have long proboscis that they use to drink. However, homeowners infested with wine sprites commonly report broken glasses and their wine having a rotten taste or smell. Wine sprites are not directly dangerous to humans, but are known to spread various deadly diseases, including the fatal Fey flu, and should be removed as soon as possible. Wine sprites can be removed with various common household pesticides and traps, provided they are baited with wine. To avoid future infestations, be sure to always clean wine glasses and containers immediately after use.
You know, beer is more ancient than wine, but wine gets all the attention. I do like a nice semi-sweet, but if it means avoiding disease-spreading Fey pest, I'll stick with a Modelo Chelada.
So, I think something may have died inside my desk. It stinks to high heavens and something is leaking out of it. I have to lock the door to my office since my kids are overly curious about the smell, so I need to know what to do about this as soon as possible.
Please hold.
So Ruth has a stinky, leaky desk. That's another easy one. There's a little something called wood secretions.
Wood secretions are a pink, viscous substance that can sometimes form from wood that has been mistreated. It is known to drip from wood materials such as furniture or walls, causing a sticky, pooling buildup. Wood secretions can be deadly to humans, causing a rapid translation of flesh if ingested. Keep animals and human children away from secretions at all costs, as its foul odor will be interpreted as a sweet, candy-like smell to them, making them particularly susceptible to accidental ingestion. Once started, wood secretions will continue indefinitely. To remove the hazard from a home, the offending wood should be replaced entirely. To prevent wood from entering the secretion stage, ensure good care is taken towards the wood in the home, and refrain from scratching, knocking, or banging on wooden surfaces. Do not ever insult or shout at wood.
Well, I hope it wasn't a nice desk, but considering it's made out of real wood and not the cheap particle board or sawdust squares you normally get these days, it probably was. And here we have yet another entry that seems to target children. Also, rapid translation of flesh? What in the world does that even mean? I can think of a few things, and none of them are pleasant.
I think there's someone watching me.
Howard feels like he's being watched, and the cops ask him if he had mowed his lawn or ate fruit in public. It's gotta be a pest that would take offense to something like that, I would think. Let me browse.
Please hold.
Well, we did hear Spriggans mentioned a few days ago, and it seemed like they were as likely enough to get angry at something like that, so let's see.
Spriggans are small green humanoids with leaf-like coatings on their bodies. They are seen rarely inside households and reside primarily inside trees. They are known to act violently upon homeowners when provoked, however. Homeowners affected by Spriggans commonly report rapid vine growth in and around their homes, and the feeling that the trees are watching them. Spriggans are incredibly dangerous to humans when provoked, and physical contact with one will result in the growth of a sprig tree within the affected individual. Spriggans cannot be persuaded to leave the home once provoked. However, one can take precautions to prevent provoking a Spriggan. Refrain from removing trees, flowers, or weeds on your property. Do not ever kill or hunt wildlife within view of your home. Do not eat any fruit or vegetable that may grow on your property. Consider making offers of water each night left in a clean dish on your porch.
Spriggans are a pretty popular supernatural entity throughout tales of fiction, like a couple of tabletop RPGs and a few somewhat popular video games. And while the lore for these creatures is vastly different depending on the source, I refuse to believe that you can't douse these woody boys with some gasoline, strike a match, and solve your problems. Of course, that'll probably leave you with other problems, but that's what the fire department's for. Either way, this guy is going to want to be real careful. He does not want to get that sprig tree infection. Honestly, his best bet is to sell now, because otherwise he's going to be living in a forest of weeds and grass, and as we know, that can invite ticks and other pests to become a problem.
My brother told me to call this number, but I don't know why. Things have never been better around here. My brother says he doesn't like the way the leaves move, the way they grow around the house like a warm embrace. Things are good here, brother. Things are good. Would you tell my brother that things are...
Well, I don't know if things are good, Jay.
Please hold.
Okay, so this one actually took a bit of searching, but I think I found it. Autumn vines, a very unassuming name.
Autumn vines are vines with orange or red leaves that are known to slowly grow over a house, frequently occurring during the fall. Homeowners with autumn vines often report feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or blissful. The pheromones autumn vines release in the air, while not toxic, can often cause household accidents thanks to their blissful dizzying effects. To remove autumn vines from a household, locate where the initial growth is coming from by inspecting the soil around the home for an extended red parent vine. Pull this vine out by the roots and burn it. Prevent autumn vine growth by making regular offerings of insects or meat substance to the ones beneath the soil.
To the what now? Are we feeding mole people? Anyway, I know what some of you are thinking. A vine that gets you blissfully high? Well, that just sounds dandy. And I would agree with you. But it's fae, and you can't trust anything fae.
Hi. Do you know how I got here? I'm not where I should be. Please, I was told that you could help me. My family. They aren't my family. I don't know what's happened. Please tell me how to get back to my family.
Please hold.
Okay, this one is really tricky. There are a couple of mind-screwy pests we've already become familiar with, like the memory wisp or the mirror nymph, but this isn't quite like either of those. Jill hasn't lost her memory, nor her identity. It's gotta be something we haven't yet viewed. Okay, here we go. Neighbor's doorway.
Neighbors' doorways are door frame-like structures that often appear in basements or cellars. They are known to cause confusion if stepped through, as well as parallelism. Neighbors' doorways do not cause any direct harm to humans, but if stepped through, the resulting parallelism will often result in unwanted household activity, such as altered behavior or perceived missing memories in the human who comes through the other side. Neighbors' doorways are tricky to remove without accidentally putting one's body through them and potentially triggering the parallel activity. It is advised to utilize HSH's doorway removal services. One can prevent neighbors' doorways from occurring by practicing mindfulness and not letting one's mind wander towards wishing for alternate life paths.
Well, Jill, I'm not seeing a solution for you after you step through the doorway. Maybe try stepping back through it? Maybe that works. Maybe it makes it worse. I don't know. I just work at a call center.
Hi, yeah, there's this awful smell of rotten eggs coming from my dining room, and when I looked to see what it was, I saw this awful, disgusting pile of crap on my dinner table. It's quite big, too.
Please hold.
Ew. Claire has a problem with stinky smells coming from her dining room, and she says there's a big pile of feces on the table. Out of all the entries we've come across, I don't think I've seen anything that takes massive dumps on people's tables. What could this be? I guess I'm gonna say it's a trash gnome.
Trash gnomes are a subspecies of gnome with thick brown grayish fur, frog-like eyes, and a large gaping mouth. They are known to seek out trash receptacles and burrow inside them for both food and shelter. Homeowners with trash gnomes often report the smell of rotten eggs, finding large clumps of fur throughout the house, tipped garbage cans, and loud crunching sounds at night.
Yeah, that looks close enough. We'll go with that. I'm sure Claire can get a new trash can and solve the whole issue.
Hey, yeah, Paul here. I'm not sure what to do anymore. My kids can't sleep at night. I've been spraying about 50 different kinds of pesticides all over the place, washed and scrubbed all the bed sheets as much as frickin' possible, and every night it's the same story. Bunch of itchy kids with nightmares waking up at 4 a.m. and begging to sleep in Papa's bed. I'm fresh out of ideas.
Please hold.
So Paul's issue seems to be itchy kids that are having nightmares. I think it's bed bugs. There are only 3 bed entries, and out of that, only 2 deal with itching. Since Paul didn't mention anything else except nightmares and itching, I'm led to believe it's something mundane since neither bed bugs or bed teeth mention nightmares occurring. Still, mundane or not, he should probably get that taken care of ASAP.
Okay, do you want to explain to me what the hell is happening? I called last week to ask why my home heater has been having issues, and nothing's changed after following the instructions you sent me.
Please hold.
Charles has heating problems, it seems, and the previous guy didn't seem to be much help. Let's see if we can do better. I think we indeed can. Here's something we have yet to come across. A leprechaun.
Leprechauns are small humanoids covered in long brown hair that are known for consuming common household valuables such as jewelry, silverware, and other precious metals. In addition to being a household nuisance, leprechauns' appetite for precious metals can also cause long-term damage to heaters, furnaces, and other common appliances if they are not properly protected. Additionally, leprechauns can occasionally cause direct harm to humans in cases where homeowners have metallic medical implants such as braces, crowns, or joint replacements. Leprechauns will move on to other feeding grounds on their own once they run out of food. The more proactive means of removal require physical capture. If immediate removal is desired, it is recommended to utilize professional help via HSH's pest control services.
Looks like this leprechaun isn't a jolly green suit wearing marshmallow eating kind. More of the eat all your metals kind. Again, this is one of those instances where I would recommend using the HSH pest control, because if the leprechaun movies have taught me anything, is that you just don't want to deal with them.
I think some pranksters might be giving my wife and I a run for our money. Lately, my wife's clothes have started going missing, and at night I keep hearing this strange, whoopee cushion type sound coming from outside.
Edward has someone, or something, stealing his wife's clothes and farting outside at night.
Please hold.
As funny as that sounds, it's unfortunately not prankster teens. It's a troll, and not the internet kind.
Trolls are giant, 12-foot tall nocturnal creatures that are normally not seen in the home. However, during the winter they will deflate their bodies in order to fit inside homes and steal warm materials such as blankets or articles of clothing. Homeowners infested with a troll will frequently report missing clothes or claim to hear the shrill sounds of air escaping in the middle of the night. Trolls are very dangerous to humans when they're startled, thanks to their ability to inflate their bodies to their full height of 12 feet in a matter of seconds. Their skin, despite its flexibility, is incredibly durable and will smash through the ceilings of most homes when fully inflated, causing property damage and injury to anyone in the vicinity. Do not ever approach a troll. An active troll will leave by morning once it's secured its bounty. It is recommended to install repelling fixtures such as UV lights to prevent future break-ins.
These trolls don't live under bridges and harass goats. These like to steal clothing and squat in your house overnight during the winter. Well, I'm not buying a dryer, so I guess I'll invest in some UV lighting. Also, I've got 3 dogs. If a troll broke into my house, it'd be like pandemonium unleashed.
Hello, I saw your commercial and I thought I would call just in case you might know what's going on. I was recently putting on my kettle for a bit of afternoon Earl Grey when I heard this awful buzzing sound coming from the cupboard.
Please hold.
It's a tea sprite. Sprites that drink tea, spread disease, and generally make a nuisance of themselves as all sprites do.
Hi, we need some medical help. I'm not exactly sure what to say since I talked to our family practitioner already, but he said to call here, so we've been having some trouble sleeping. I thought it was just me, but both my husband and I started feeling shortness of breath around the same time. I'm worried about something spreading through our house since our kids all have asthma.
Please hold.
All your kids have asthma? Are you sure you don't have asthma? Barring that possible factor, the only choice left is a bed hag.
Bed hags are large humanoid creatures with an elderly woman-like appearance. They are known to dwell beneath beds, hammocks, and other suspended sleeping apparatus. Homeowners infested with bed hags will sometimes report croaking or wheezing sounds at night, or the feeling of a heavy weight on their chest. Bed hags are not dangerous to most healthy human adults, but small children and humans suffering from breathing problems such as asthma may be adversely affected by their presence. Bed hags are known to steal the breath of their sleeping subjects at night, causing a shortness of breath and sometimes sleep paralysis. Bed hags can in fact be beneficial to a home, as their presence can frighten off other pests such as various insects or mice. In the cases where a bed hag is undesirable, it's advised to utilize HSH's pest removal services.
Christy should get that taken care of ASAP, but for those of us that don't have asthma or other breathing issues, which would you rather have? An old lady that steals your breath at night, or mice? Personally, I'll take the hag.
So, I've been hearing this weird sound coming from the walls. Not exactly sure what it is, but I've been having a hard time sleeping at night because of this sound. Can you hear that?
Please hold.
It sounds like someone's playing pipes or a flute in the background. It's gotta be driving her nuts. The key phrase here is, sounds coming from the walls. I think we all know what the culprit is.
Whistling fungi are small, mushroom-like growths with many small holes in their caps that frequently grow through drywall gaps and cracks. Homeowners infested with whistling fungi often report a dissonant whistling sound coming from the walls. Warning: if you ever hear whistling fungi singing in harmony, evacuate your home immediately. Whistling fungi are rarely dangerous to humans, but their growth can cause foundational problems. If whistling fungi ever sing in harmony, evacuate your home immediately and do not return for any reason otherwise. Whistling fungi can be removed with common weed killers or by utilizing HSH's fungal removal services. To prevent a whistling fungi infestation, ensure there are no open cracks in your home.
I think Carla called just in time as those mushrooms didn't quite sound in harmony yet. She still has time to take care of the problem. I do wonder what happens when they sync up, though.
The pile keeps growing. Tell me how to get rid of it. The instructions you sent didn't work and it smells so foul. I'm hearing angry voices coming from the walls. They keep telling me to eat it. Please, I don't want to eat it. Don't make me eat.
I guess it wasn't the trash gnome. Did she say they want me to eat it? Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, Claire. It was actually the Fae Feast.
Feast are mid to large-sized piles of various edible food substances, frequently including flour, cornmeal, and various species of fungi. They are known to appear near eating areas of the home. Feasts are not dangerous if consumed, but if left untouched, they can provoke more dangerous activity, or else its continued presence can attract other household pests such as cockroaches or carpenter ants. Feasts are a sign of a hospitable presence, and as such should be consumed immediately once sighted to prevent provoking or offending the gifter. For maximum assured safety, all members of the home should partake in the feast.
Who knew Fae could be so unreasonable?
Hello? Can you help me? There's this terrible smell in my house, and I can't figure out where on earth it's coming from. I think it's upsetting my puppy Meatball, too. He's really been acting up lately. I can hardly blame him. It smells so terribly rotten. Please, can you help?
Please hold.
Another case of a stinky house and an upset puppy. The last time we had any callers dealing with animals, it turned out to be a fungus. Annoying, yet treatable. This time, though, Rachel mentioned a smell. In fact, the smell is the main thing she's calling about. If we scroll down to a little entry called Puka, I think we'll have her answer.
Pukas are shapeless creatures that commonly inhabit homes in the shape and likeness of a household pet. They are often known for their tendency to replace common pets such as dogs or cats and live in their place to watch homeowners eat and sleep. Homeowners with pukas frequently report unusual or frightening pet behavior. Pukas are relatively harmless to humans, but the discarded bodies of household pets they leave behind can over time create other pest and disease hazards within the home. A foul smell signifies decay, and the discarded body should be found and removed immediately. Pukas can be encouraged to leave a home by not drawing attention to their activities. Pukas thrive on the attention they receive from frightened homeowners, so refrain from screaming or yelling when surprised by them, and make attempts to ignore their presence whenever possible.
Yeesh, now that's just awful. Could you imagine that your pet starts acting weird, then you find out they were dead and that's where the smell was coming from the whole time? Would you keep it around and make it fulfill your pet's role, or would you want it to go away so you can actually grieve your pet and, not have some weird fey creature watching you eat and sleep? Which, oddly enough, more than one likes to do. Guess we have confirmation on the rat theory, which means we better watch our backs. I have a feeling that disappointment would get us more than just fired. 92 what? Oh, yeah. Once again, the background is changed. Now, where the woman once stood is a giant hole in the ground. This wouldn't happen to have something to do with those beneath the soil, or whatever it was, would it? Of course it would. Just look at this email. We are happy to report that we are most pleased with your labors and are currently making all the necessary preparations for your impending dissension, assuming you pass the trial. The soil is fertile, keep up the great work, and thanks for working through the weekend. The trial, with a capital The? Sounds like I'm gonna be tested. Considering that we have all the entries now available to us on the desktop, I'm sure I'm gonna be tested. Probably should study up on this while I can. When clocking in on this fateful Sunday, we're met with something a little different than normal. Where the information usually is shown is a picture of an old and mighty tree with the words, "Thy trial hath begun." Thy trial comes in the form of nameless callers speaking an unknown language at you over your headset. Luckily, there's a text translation, so we actually know what they're saying. They'll give us a bit of a riddle, then we have to figure out what the entry is based on their hints.
Please hold.
Unlike when you're helping real callers, you don't get to look up any information during this trial. It all has to be from memory. Hopefully you studied the entry browser when you had the chance.
I am not living, yet I clatter. I am small, I am weak. I serve my purpose, then I die. What am I?
Animation.
I am the beggar. I am the encroacher of the dry. I am the friend of the water of the sky. What am I?
Rain nymph.
I am the harbinger of death. I am the bringer of pestilence. I am forever the nuisance. What am I?
Gotta be a housefly.
I seek the domains of those who have too much. Step within and they lose their way. What am I?
Closet labyrinth?
We are companions of the gardens. We compel those who tread to tread no longer. What are we?
Seedling.
I am the dancer. I am the bringer of destruction. I consume the weak and the reckless. I am the forsaken oil and the careless light. What am I?
Housefire.
I am the seeker. I am the one who delivers. What am I?
Please hold.
Dorcha?
Hello, Supervisor Carroll here. We've been watching you closely. For all this time, you have been providing excellent and accurate answers to our callers. These acts will not go unrewarded, and I'm pleased to report that you have qualified for a promotion. Please stand by while I prepare thy promotion.
Well, all is now being revealed. I am getting a promotion.
Please stand by.
Seriously though, it looks like all of our suspicions have been proven true. Supervisor Carroll and the entire HSH management are all Fae.
Congratulations. Congratulations! All hail our new junior supervisor!
Yeah, it looks like the Home Safety Hotline staff are Fae, or at least the management is. But the question is, why exactly are they running a Home Safety Hotline? I somehow doubt it's out of the goodness of their hearts. I'd like to believe that they're neutral, but it's sometimes hard to determine if HSH is truly neutral or not. They do seem to fall on the side of the Fae, but then again, maybe they know better than we do. Maybe they're offering the least catastrophic solution there is. Or maybe they're just really good at creating business, because keep in mind, neutral doesn't always mean good. Remember, they turn poor employees into mice. Granted, screwing up on this job can cost someone their life. However, even the prank caller got the mouse treatment, and once you learn of the supernatural, that's it. You better do well, or you'll be in that hole with Mike. It's curious, though, that doctors and the police are referring people to the hotline. Do they know what's really going on? Are there Fae in those departments, too? I think yeah, considering those weird questions the cop was asking that one dude. Pretty sure the cop was a Fae himself, as he seemed to know exactly what the problem was. But, due to secrecy, he couldn't just tell the man he was dealing with a Spriggan. Also, would you believe a cop telling you had Spriggans? Nevertheless, you have been inducted into the halls of Fatum and junior management too. So I'll admit, it took me a little while to warm up to this game. At first, I was concerned with the lack of gameplay, having just come off the back of Killer Frequency. I was expecting a little more interactivity in the form of asking the caller more questions, but that's just not the kind of game this is, and that's on me. However, I did eventually warm up to it because I enjoy the lore that opened up more and more with each day. The entries are the highlight for me. I love how these mythical creatures that are familiar, obscure, or downright unknown have been shown in a more realistic tone. Dealing with pests in your home is about as ordinary as it gets, but when those pests turn out to be anomalies that can eat your children and steal your memories, it's gone from mundane to bizarre and downright creepy at times. And of course, you give me the 90s aesthetic and I'll fall for it every time. Gimmick or not, I enjoy it.
And if you want to live a Fae-free life, just look at this small list of rules I've accumulated, and you'll be just fine.
If you made it this far, you are the GOAT. Let me thank the lovely patrons who help support this channel. Isha, Michael Hamilton, In Water Ending, Mascabre, and Imp Dragon 9190. If you want to become a patron, check out my Patreon linked in the description. I upload short videos over there, sometimes bloopers, sometimes other silly things that are just too short for the channel for the $5 tier. But even if you don't want to do that, you still have all my thanks for watching this video. I appreciate all of you, and I'll be seeing you again on The Midnight Goat.